Here today on Country Pocket, we're here with Croy, uh, frontman of Croy and the Boys. The song you just heard is off their new album, What Good's the Medicine, and it's called What I Had to Do. So we were trying to schedule this interview sort of around your 10-hour shifts in the construction industry. Tell me about the feeling you get working a 10-hour construction shift.
Wow. Well, I mean, I guess there's a sense of accomplishment, but it's mostly just a sense of fatigue, I'd say. I'm down here in Austin, Texas, so today actually we got a little bit of rain, and um, that kind of cooled things off to the high 90s, I would say. But it's been, about 105 or so every day, so it's been pretty rough this summer. I've been outside a lot of the summer. It's been yeah, high heat, long hours, low pay.
What do you think about the fact that so many jobs now require college degrees? I know in that song you address the sort of difficulty you had with college and how it might not be for everyone.
Right. Yeah, so I did go to college. I managed to go to college for 6 years before I dropped out without a degree. So, but my college experience was honestly really great. It opened me up to a lot of new ideas and experiences, and I got to study abroad during it. So I think college is can be a great experience. I think anyone that wants to should have the opportunity to go to college. I think that the fact that it's price prohibitive for so many people is a shame, and so I think the fact that it's kind of looked at as required for so many jobs when it is something that is price prohibitive for people, that seems like a shame to me. Um, but I mean, a lot of the guys I work with, of course, are real down on college and stuff like that. But I had a great experience, and I'm thankful that I did get to go.
In the song What I Had to Do, you are talking about, all these changes you have to make to improve your life, to improve the lives around everyone around you. Do you feel like you ever get a chance to pursue those things that aren't what you have to do?
Mm. I think that is kind of the goal of adulthood, uh, for me, or I think probably for a lot of people in America today. Yeah, is trying to figure out how to find that balance between all the things it takes to reproduce our lives here, in this modern American society, while still carving out a little bit of space, a little bit of unique space for our own that can be our own space, that for the things that we just want to do that bring us joy. It is difficult. I don't really know. I mean, like we started out the interview with, yeah, right now I'm working uh 48 hours a week. Next week we're going up to 56 hours a week. And then I play shows on a regular basis, and have a kid, and I'm married, and so yeah, finding a balance with all that stuff, and then finding time for myself, or just even just time to enjoy my own family is, yeah, it's a challenge. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm lucky in that I do enjoy my work, and so I don't come home totally like devastated or burnt out. I come home generally in a pretty good mood, and I still have energy to hang out with my son and play outside and stuff like that. So I feel lucky for those things, but yeah, I think it's an absolute struggle to find that time, to find even just to have time to develop interests and hobbies outside of just work and chores and responsibility.
I feel like you're also lucky because your main hobby of music is something that you've managed to monetize.
Yeah, no question. No question about that. Well, I mean, I was pursuing music kind of a lot more seriously before my son was born, I would say. So yeah, it was now I feel real lucky that I have this thing that I get to do that is really fulfilling for me, and yeah, is monetized, especially in Texas, playing any kind of form of country music. Um, you can hustle up some money that way. It's Yeah, I feel lucky for that.
But at one point you were thinking, that's going to be my life.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it was really just having a kid and realizing there really isn't a career in music without just a lot of time spent on the road, you know. For years and years it seems like for most of my friends it's more time on the road than not. And I just at some point I just realized I wasn't willing to make that sacrifice as far as like my relationship with my son goes, and my kind of the role that I want to play as a father just wasn't going to line up with that life on the road. So it was a hard decision, you know. But
A lot of the songs on this album are about work and trying to make a life for yourself and make yourself the right kind of person while struggling in this society. Do you feel like it's sort of impossible for a blue collar worker to get ahead in this era right now?
I don't know if I would say it's impossible. I mean, so I'm in a union. I'm in the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 520 here in Austin. So I think that there are pathways, you know, in the trades. You know, I think that unions can help deliver you some measure of stability. You know, I mean, obviously we're still all um, kind of one injury away from all of that going away as well. But I don't know. I'm not, you know, I do think about things a lot, and I try to process the world around me. And sometimes it comes out negative. I'm trying to be more prescriptive in my writing, I'd say. But I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I mean, I think people have to work really hard to make it, you know, if you're working class. But I do think that one thing that the trades and blue collar work offers is, like I'm doing right now, lots of overtime. You know, you can kind of just muscle your way towards a decent life, I think. But like I said, I mean, it's all real fragile because that kind of work puts you in harm's way a lot. And if you do have sort of a career-ending injury, God forbid, I mean, that's you know, all of that kind of seeming stability, I think, can go away real quick. So I guess my answer is yes and no, I think.
Tell me about the importance of spaces that foster the appreciation of thoughtful art, sort of like a
Mm,
video spectrum.
mm. Yeah, well, I mean, so I wrote that song. That's about, so I'm originally from Bowling Green, Ohio, and that was the name of a video store in Bowling Green, Ohio. And I wrote it though because there was a video store that was real similar and that was equally as loved, but down here in Austin, called iHeart Video. And iHeart Video closed a few years ago now, and it was kind of a devastating thing for the city. I mean, if you know anything about Austin, you know we've been going through. I've been here for 15 years, and it's just been lots and lots of change. And you know, most people, what I guess interpret it as way too much growth and kind of a lot of negative change. So the loss of iHeartVideo kind of was more than just a movie store closing. It was kind of, you know, one of these kind of touchstones of classic old Austin gone away. And so I was kind of reflecting on that and thinking about my own experience with that in my hometown, and that's how I wrote that song. But I mean, yeah, I would say using that as an analogy for kind of Austin in general. I think Austin was a place for a long time that um, was full of creative people, and um, was a place that you could come as an artist and kind of just be inspired, be surrounded by creativity, and have time to just kind of incubate as an artist and develop your own idea of what you wanted to do with art and music. And without rising cost of living here, I think that a lot of that has gone away. You know, I think it's you know, you used to be able to just kind of work a part-time job and gig here and there and have a decent life, and now, you know, most of us don't even live in the city limits anymore. You have to commute in just to work and to play shows, and you've got you know, you might live 35, 40 minutes away from your bandmates, and instead of a full-time part-time job, now you might have a full-time job and a weekend job. And so yeah, I mean, I think the video store in that song is kind of an analogy just for I guess for the loss of all of that. um Also for me though, what I was focusing on in that song, I think, is just the commercialization of small town America. You know, that was Video Spectrum was kind of one of those things that just felt like very special and unique to Bowling Green, where I was from. You know, and as time progressed, places like that close, and what replaces them, is a Blockbuster, or like downtown in our main little historic downtown strip there. Kind of the main thing for a while now has been a Panera Bread, and so it's like you kind of start to lose these things that make your town feel like unique, and kind of the way you kind of shape your identity around it just becomes more and more just kind of like anywhere USA.
Yeah, and I mean, how much does a community lose in the sense of community when a small business is replaced with something for the masses?
Yeah, I think communities lose quite a bit when that happens. I mean, it's just a sense of identity. It's just a sense of something that's ours. And of course, I don't mean that in like some sort of weird like and not for anyone else kind of way, but I mean, yeah, when you're in a small town, you definitely cling to those kind of things. It's like, well, at least we have this, or we love it here because of these things. But as they go away, then you're like, why do I love it here? Because we have a Panera like everywhere else. I mean, yeah.
Do you think that these places, these spaces are gone, or have they just sort of moved onto a computer screen?
Yeah, I mean that's like that's obviously something that I ignore in that song. I mean, the advent of streaming movie services, I think fulfill a need for some people, but I don't know. I mean, I reflect all the time on I think just there's something special about like at a local movie store, let's say like iHeartVideo or like Video Spectrum. I mean, there's just kind of the thoughtful curation that goes into a physical space like that. What's actually there is yeah, it's like people from your community made decisions to keep it, to have those things there. I think the same thing about old record stores. I think there's something real special about just kind of localized culture like that. I think it's but who knows? I'm willing to admit that maybe that this is all like millennial boomer stuff, and I'm out of touch, and it doesn't matter, but it feels like it matters to me. But I could be wrong about all that. Who knows? Maybe people are experiencing way more film and way more music than they ever have or could, and you know. But
No, I think that in terms of experiencing more film and music, the internet definitely can outpace a local business like Video Spectrum. But in terms of fostering some kind of local community and culture, the internet is not going to outdo that. The internet can start a conversation like this, but it's really not going to work if you're trying to have band practice on Zoom with
right,
someone who lives 35 minutes away. We haven't gotten there yet.
right, totally. Or even just having a kid, has really helped me to understand just the importance of, yeah, or kind of remind me, of the importance of a local community, local events, local movie screenings, local things in your park, stuff that you can get out of the house and go do. And to me, it's just not the same as watching something on Netflix this weekend that, yeah, sure, like two whatever 200 million people also watched it as the most watched show this weekend or something. That's just a different experience, everyone individually watching at their houses, and going out and experiencing things, or running into friends at the movie store. I have that thing about the employee picks. I mean, those were all just, yeah, special things. It just made it feel like I don't know, just made it feel a little more human to me than just kind of scrolling through Netflix at night. But
All right, let's hear the song and we're going to be right back.